If you've been watching this channel lately, then you know that when it comes to layer 1 chains, we've mostly been advocating for either Bitcoin or Solana. But there is another layer 1 that we've been considering lately that is actually particularly resilient in the market that we've been facing. It's poised to grow very nicely and has a chance to be the leader in both DeFi and NFTs, which is rare. We are talking about SUI here, SUI, and I want to break down in this video exactly what it is they're doing right versus so many of the other chains that are suffering right now. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest. I wish you very, very well. Just as long as we all remember that I'm not a financial or investment advisor. Also be reminded that this video is not official financial or investment advice. It's difficult to start a discussion about SUI and its fast transaction times and scaling without first talking about Move. Move, M-O-V-E, is the programming language behind both SUI and Aptos. SUI's a little bit further along in terms of integrating Move into blockchains, though. And Move offers some unique advantages, which include resource efficiency, security, flexibility for developers, and interoperability. Move is a super efficient, resource-friendly language, and that means that computing power and space are not issues here. We see how big a problem this is for AI, just think of machine learning protocols, and how there are apps like Cache and Render specifically designed to serve these interests. With lower hardware costs, developer teams are more free to experiment with Move in order to make SUI a great place to launch new apps. Its resource management team is ideal for crypto, and it's also part of the original design from the beginning by Facebook's Diem team. The interoperability piece here is key. And not blockchain interoperability like we usually talk about. In this case, we're referring to interoperability with other computer languages. So that means the two biggest virtual machine or VM ecosystems and their languages of Solidity for EVM and WebAssembly for COSM-WASM are suddenly within reach for compatibility with SUI apps. And Move also makes things easier when building out a chain or app without having to learn Solidity. Taken all together, this leads to some pretty impressive chain statistics, like 7 million transactions per day, over 400,000 daily active users, more than 35 million NFTs minted, and daily gas fees averaging under 1 penny per transaction. All these stats point to the fact that people are using this chain. It is a true competitor for retail crypto businesses and apps, along with the likes of Ethereum and Solana. SUI's TVL is also growing consistently. While this chart here shows that SUI is at number 13 overall, they're actually doing a lot better than this because EVM, as you probably know, dominates. But of the non-EVM chains, SUI is third. Only Solana and Tron are higher. And we know most of the Tron TVL comes from its USDT issuance. Over the last month, only 3 chains in the top 20 have growing TVL. SUI is one of those 3 and is number 1 in terms of growth over the last 30 days. In other words, money is flowing into SUI and tends to be staying there. There's more TVL on SUI, for example, than on Optimism, TON, or even Bitcoin. And of the 33 protocols on SUI, the top 4 are really dominating. They are Navi Protocol, Scallop, Cetus, and SUI Lend. And they cover all the major bases of AMM, DEX, and lending. And there are some very nice returns on these protocols as well. On Navi, you can earn 15% on your USDC, 8.3% on your SUI, or 12.9% on your USDT. All of these are excellent returns for something that you'd otherwise just like having in your portfolio by default anyway. And then rates on stablecoins are even higher at Scallop, but the trade-off here is that SUI comes in a little lower at 5%. Altcoin Buzz is now available in Discord. You can be a part of us now by joining the chat where you can research and identify your next big move in crypto. You're also going to get free alpha content just for joining. Check out the link you can find in the description of this video below. Now, as I said earlier, SUI has minted nearly 35 million total NFTs, which represents a lot of activity. Of course, not all of them are still active, but SUI is a serious contender for NFT collections. And the big story in NFT collections, of course, has been Solana's emergence as a leading NFT platform in the most recent cycle. But now, all of a sudden, there's a third player in the space, and that is definitely SUI. There are more than 365,000 SUI NFT holders. That's a base nearly as big as Solana's, by the way. And in the last 30 days, a time during which the market has been very ugly, The leading NFT marketplace on SUI did 384,000 SUI in trading volume. That was on Tradeport. And that effort was very much led by the Prime Matchin collection. It's got some special features that we reported on recently on our website. Check out this article, by the way. I'll link to it below. But Tradeport and Bluemove are really growing in volume, while ETH NFT marketplaces like X2Y2, for example, and LooksRare are really fighting just to barely stay alive. NFTs, by contrast, on SUI are extremely healthy. And we expect this will extend past collections and into RWA for tokenized assets. SUI has not had really any big announcements in this area, but their NFTs are perfectly equipped to handle fractionalized and tokenized assets. NFTs with real-world utility will come back strong, and when they do, SUI is definitely going to get their share of that market.